Welcome back. Today we're going to tackle something that, let's be honest, can seem way more complicated than it needs to be. Fractions. But don't you worry, we are about to crack the code and turn all that confusion into some serious confidence.
You know, for a lot of people, just seeing a fraction can bring on a little bit of math anxiety. You've got numbers on the top, numbers on the bottom, different rules for adding versus dividing. It can feel like a total puzzle. But what if I told you that puzzle is actually way simpler than it looks? So that's our mission today. We're going to use a standard 6th grade lesson plan as our treasure map to demystify fractions. We're going to uncover the simple, core rules that make them work, and you'll see they're not so scary after all. And our first key is coming right up.
Okay, our very first key to cracking this whole code is something you've probably heard a million times: the common denominator rule. This is your absolute secret weapon for adding and subtracting fractions.
So what is it, really? Well, a common denominator just means getting the bottom numbers of your fractions, the denominators, to be the same. Think of it like this. You can't add, say, 3 apples and 2 oranges and get 5 apple oranges, right? It doesn't work. But if you call them all pieces of fruit, now you can. A common denominator basically turns different fractions into the same type of piece so you can finally combine them.
And the process is just a simple 4-step recipe. First, you find a number that both of the bottom numbers can multiply into. Second, you convert your fractions so they have that new bottom number. Third, you just add or subtract the top numbers. And finally, and this is the easiest part, you just keep that same bottom number. That's it.
Let's see it in action. It'll make perfect sense. If you have 3/5 plus 2/7, a common denominator is 35. So the fractions become 21 over 35 and 10 over 35. Now you just add the tops. 21 plus 10 is 31. Boom, 31/35. Or for 7/8 minus 1/4, you just have to change that 1/4 into 2/8. Now the problem is a piece of cake. 7 minus 2 is 5, so you get 5/8. See, the rule just works.
All right, addition and subtraction are in the bag. Let's move on to the next piece of our puzzle: multiplication and division. Now, multiplication is pretty straightforward, but division has a really cool secret weapon. You've got this really interesting contrast here. With multiplication, it's just a direct route. You literally multiply straight across. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Super easy. But division takes this clever little detour, a secret path that uses a special trick called the reciprocal. So what in the world is a reciprocal? It's just the flipped version of a fraction. That's it. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, and it has this really cool magical property. Any number multiplied by its reciprocal always equals 1, and that is the key that unlocks fraction division.
So here's the trick. To divide -3/7 by 2/3, you don't actually divide at all. No way. You take that second fraction, the 2/3, you flip it to get its reciprocal, 3/2, and then you just multiply. It's that classic flip and multiply rule. So -3 times 3 is -9, and 7 times 2 is 14. Problem solved.
Okay, so we have our two big keys now: common denominators for adding and subtracting, and reciprocals for dividing. A lot of times when you're working with fractions, you also run into negative numbers. So let's just do a quick, rapid-fire draw from the lesson's homework to make sure we're sharp. You ready?
First up, a little addition with negatives. Take a second. What do you get when you add -9 and -3?
It's -12. You're just going further into the negatives. Simple as that.
Okay, how about some subtraction? What happens when you subtract 7 from -2?
That's going to land you on 9. Exactly.
All right, let's try multiplication. What is -4 times -6? Remember that rule about 2 negatives?
It's a positive 24. You got it. And how about division? 15 divided by -3.
The answer is -5. Nicely done.
All right, last one for the drill, and this one ties right back into our fraction rule. What is the reciprocal of the number 5? Hint, think of 5 as a fraction first. It's 1/5. Fantastic. See, that little drill just proves you've got a solid grip on the kind of math that pops up inside these bigger fraction problems.
And honestly, that's pretty much it. The whole impossible puzzle of fractions really just comes down to those two main ideas: using a common denominator when you add and subtract, and using that flip and multiply trick with the reciprocal to divide. You've totally cracked the code. And this 6th grade lesson plan that our explainer is based on wraps up with this final thought. So that lesson uses this idea to show that things that seem impossible, well, maybe they aren't. And that really brings us back to where we started. Fractions might feel impossible, but we've seen they're really just a puzzle waiting for the right keys. Which makes you wonder, right? What other impossible thing in your world is just a puzzle, waiting for you to find the keys to solve it? Thanks for joining us.